Okay. So now I think, Dalia, we have to start talking about part one. Part one, as we said, is about what? About speaking and writing. But first of all, we have to discuss the overview about speaking and writing. Then we have to go into details. We have to discuss the tasks about part one, which is about speaking and writing. Let me zoom the page in just to be able to see the page clearly. And let me show you the overview about part one. So, speaking and writing. Now, in part one of the PTE academic test is about speaking and writing. This part tests your ability to produce spoken and written English in an academic way or academic environment. Now, the tables below shows what you will see in the test, which you will take on a computer. When practicing with this book, you will have to write your written answers in the book. Absolutely, you have to have your paper and pencil all the time because absolutely you have to take notes. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So now this is part one, which is about speaking and writing. Now all this part, or let me say that the speaking is about 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, this is about speaking. And we know to see that this is about writing. Now writing is about 50 to 60 minutes. This is the total time. Okay, let me go back to speaking. So as we said, the speaking is about 30 to 35 minutes. Now the task type, this is the task type that we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss the number of tasks that I will have in my final exam, the description of this task, the skills assessed, text recording length, and time to answer. Okay, so the first task in speaking is reading aloud. This is the first task. Now, the number of times I should manage is about 6 to 7 times. So this task is going to be shown 6 to 7 times. Now, the description about this task is about a text. This text is going to be appeared on my screen, and I have to read the text aloud into my microphone. Now, absolutely, it is about reading and speaking because I have to read and I have to speak. I have to read the passage loudly. Okay. Now, the length is about 60 words. Now, the time, to be honest, the time varies by task. It depends on the length of the text. Okay?
Okay.
After that, the next task is about repeating a sentence. And the number of times is from 10 to 12 times. Now, the description is about after listening to a sentence, I have to repeat the sentence into my microphone. Now, absolutely, it is about listening and speaking. Now, the length is about 3 to 9 seconds. And absolutely, the time is 15 seconds to be able to repeat the sentence. Now, the next task is describing an image, and it is going to be shown to me from 6 to 7 times. Now, absolutely, a certain image is going to be appeared, and I have to describe the image in details into my microphone. Now, the skill in this task is about speaking. To be honest, the length is not available, and absolutely the time is about 40 seconds. Now, the next task is retelling a lecture. Now, the number of times about this task that is going to be shown to me is from 3 to 4 times. After listening or watching a lecture, I have to retell that lecture in my own words. And absolutely, I have to speak or retell the lecture into my microphone. Now, the skills are about listening and speaking because I have to listen to the lecture. Then I have to speak about this lecture. Now, the length is about 90 seconds. I'm talking about the lecture. It is 1 minute and a half. Okay? I'm talking about the
Okay.
length of the lecture. Now I have to retell the time about retelling is 40 seconds. Now, the final task in speaking in part 1 is answering short question. And the number of times is about 10 to 12 times. The description is after listening to a question, I have to answer this question with a single word or maybe a few words only into my microphone. Now, the skills that I used is about listening and speaking. Absolutely, the length is from 3 to 9 seconds, and the time that I need to answer this task is 10 seconds. Then, absolutely, we have writing. As you said, that writing, we have from 50 to 60 minutes. And the first task about writing is summarizing written text or maybe passage. Now, the number of tasks is from 2 to 3 times. Now, after reading a certain passage, I have to write only one sentence summary, please. Okay, not 2 sentences, only one. Now, the skills is about reading and writing, and absolutely the recording length or the text length is about 30 words, 300 words. And the time that I need to answer this task is 10 minutes. Finally, I have to write an essay. And the number of tasks, maybe I have to write one essay, maybe I have to write 2 essays. We will notice that when we start practicing. So I have to write an essay. This essay is about 200 to 300 words on a given topic. Absolutely. The skill I need is writing. I have to write. Now, the length or the text or recording length is about up to 4 sentences. And absolutely the time I need to finish writing the essay or the 2 essays is 20 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Be careful, please, Dalia, that each recording is played only once. You may take notes, not you may, you have to take notes. Because you are not a robot to remember everything. So I have to take notes using my erasable noteboard, booklet, and pen. And I have to use these notes as a guide to guide me when I will answer the tasks. Okay?
Okay.
So this is about the first task. Now, speaking task types are not timed individually, but writing task types are in both sections, speaking and writing. You can refer to the timer in the upper right-hand corner of the computer. Absolutely, the time is going to be shown in the corner of your screen. You have to take a look at the time from time to time, please, Dalia, because you don't want the time just to run out. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, exactly. Time remaining, which counts down the time remaining for the speaking section. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the overview about the first part, which is speaking and writing. Now, we have to go into details and we have to speak and talk about now. We have to talk about the first task in speaking and writing in part 1, which is read aloud. Okay?
Okay.
So I have to disconnect the meeting now. Please come back to start talking about the first task in part 1, which is speaking and writing. Okay?
Okay.
I'm waiting for you. Please come back.
Okay.